Alright, as for the second part, I am going to be referencing character law and campaign law from the Rolemaster series, and this is very important. You see, in this game they have 10 attributes. Your skill levels and your hardiness that define who you are as a person. We have very general, vague, descriptions of people. We say they have a gift in doing something. Somebody might be very good at reading tarot cards because they can understand it in their head about something. Okay, well, there's reasons why that is. So, in these 10 stats that they use in Rolemaster, it's an explanation of how it affects you. Okay? And so you need to really develop all 10 of these skills, these stats, try to improve them the best that you can so that you can be a more effective witch. If you are weak in one area, it will affect you because your mind, body, and soul, they say, is one overall. So if one is weak, they're all weak. A chain is strong as its weakest link. Okay. So I'm going to start off with Constitution. Now this is your general health and well-being, your ability to withstand difficulties physically, such as disease, your ability to absorb more damage and issues in life. Okay? If you're a wallflower, you can't take much, and so it would not take much to take you out of the game. So you have to develop a level of constitution so that you can withstand life. Okay? And if your constitution's high, that means that you can absorb more energies because that is an outside force. And so if your constitution is strong, you can absorb more energy to build your spell work. Okay? Agility. Okay? This is your manual dexterity. It's also referred to as non-dexterity, deftness, manual skill, maneuverability, stealth, dodging ability. Okay? Now you're thinking, well, that's physical. Why do I need that with witchcraft and all? Well, there are rituals that involve dance. We have, maneuvers while casting a circle. And if you're sluggish and all that, you cannot perform them. So it's important that you have a level of physical agility so that you can perform some of these basic skills in witchcraft. Self-discipline. Oh gosh, this is something that's very, very important, okay? The control of mind over body, the ability to push harder in pursuit of some goal, or to draw upon the inner reserves of strength inherent in any individual. Also referred to as will, alignment, faith, mental strength or power, concentration, self-control, determination, zeal, etc. Okay. In the previous video where I talked about how Emily was thinking she can go like that, well, she thinks she can go like that because she has very little self-discipline. She does not have the ability to focus for a long time. So you watch her videos, she can barely get through a single sentence without doing an okay? So you need your self-discipline so you can draw upon your ability to perform a long ritual, a long spell. Remember how I said sometimes you got to put your hand out because you're broadcasting energy? Well, if you don't have the self-discipline, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to go after 5 seconds, my arm's getting tired, I guess I'm done. And thus, it'll be just like going, the spell's done. You don't have the ability to, stretch it out, to make it last. Because if a spell needs 5 minutes to send out energy, well, you better hope that you can last 5 minutes. And I thought about this one earlier. I got to use a Dragon Ball Z reference. If you know who Piccolo is, okay, one of his special attacks, it's actually just called special attack, he has to charge up for a minute. You know, he's got his hand up, he's trying to energize himself so he can do this attack, but it takes him a minute. And if he doesn't do it for a minute, it doesn't work. So he needs the self-discipline to do that. Okay? That's how important self-discipline is. Memory. Okay. The ability to retain what was previously been encountered and learn from it. Note, in many instances, it may be necessary for the character to rely on a player's memory, since that tends to be used whenever it's advantageous. Anyway, memory provides a good basis of determining how much is retained of the pre-adult period of the game master. Okay, but memory, your ability to remember what has happened and learn from it. Okay, most of it's just remembering stuff. Unfortunately, I got to use Emily as an example here. She has flip-flopped so much, and I remember bits and pieces, but she can't. And so her ability to call upon her past to learn from it is minimal. And spell work is a lot of memory, because you have to remember, oh, what do I do for this? What do I do for that? Well, you need memory, not just a good old book of shadows. Reasoning. Similar to intelligence, the ability to absorb, comprehend, and categorize data for future use. It also reflects the ability to take available information and draw logical conclusions. Also referred to as intelligence, learning ability, study ability, analysis, mental quickness, logic, deductive capacity, wit, judgment, IQ. Okay. So we have to be able to look at a situation and see what the best course of action is. Reasoning. And so in magic, this is being able to deduce what's going around with you and kind of what spell to use. What is the appropriate action? So reasoning is very important. Now, if you're doing mental spells, you have to have good memory and good reasoning, okay? Because if you can't get it going in here, you can't send it out there, okay? Presence. Oh gosh, there's another super important one. Control of one's own mind, courage, bearing, self-esteem, charisma, outward appearance, and the ability to use these to affect and control others and the world around you are principal elements of a character's presence. Okay? If you are a coward, you have no presence. Okay? Some people wonder why in some of my videos I get very brash and all that, because I know that I have to put out my presence. I have to let my energies flow and all that. And while sometimes that does burn a bridge or two, it is showing my personal strength, my courage. Okay, and thus my presence is established. And so when a more difficult situation comes, I am still able to put my presence out and overcome diversity. Okay, and this is also power of your own mind. Again, if you can't focus the long term, you're not going to have much of a presence, and you're not going to be able to manipulate the energies around you, because you cannot establish yourself over the energies around you. Intuition. The combination of luck, genius, precognition, ESP, and the favor of the gods is embodied in this trait. Also referred to as wisdom, luck, talent, reactive ability, guessing ability, insight, clairvoyance, inspiration, perception, okay? Your intuition is to be your ability to look at a situation and have an instantaneous idea or feel of a situation. So a lot of magic, a lot of your energy work and all that demands high intuition. If you don't have a feel, an understanding of the world around you, you can't interact with the world around you. And finally, empathy. Now this one is, in my mind, too generalized in the witch community. Okay, empathy, the relationship of the character to the all-pervading force that is common to all things natural and is the basis of most things supernatural. Also referred to as emotional capacity, judgment, alignment, wisdom, mana, magical prowess, bardic voice, etc. A lot of people, from what I've seen, they want to basically say that empathy is your ability to feel other people's emotional state. And that's it. It's not just other people. You could have an empathic bond with animals. You know, you have a familiar, well, you have an empathic bond with that animal. The trees and all that. There is energies in there too. And so you have to be able to connect with the world. It's not just on a person-to-person, it's person-to-world. And actually, empathy is even more than that. Because if you believe in the astral planes and all that, you have to have an empathic bound with those two. Okay? So you have to feel now the world around you, the world you don't even see, and all the planes in existence with your empathy. Okay, and so it's a lot bigger than what you think. So you need to understand all these traits to find your strengths and weaknesses. Can you look back and think of what is your biggest weakness? You cannot just ignore these. You have to develop them. There are skills, there are traits to develop things, such as your reasoning. Well, you have to think. You have to complete school. You can't be a 5th grade dropout and think that you have amazing reasoning abilities. You don't. Okay? So, I want you to think about all what I just said. You know, the reasoning, your abilities, such as reasoning, they all have to work together for you to be a successful witch. And so you have to develop everything. These over-encompassing brushstrokes of what empathy is isn't going to work. There's more to life. So anyway, I'm going to start rambling on. Those are some things I want you to think about and learn about yourself. Again, you have to know who you are here before you can go out there. So everybody, please take care. Be at peace.